Hi team. So first of all, yes, there was no weekly video last week. It was a weird week, and I'm sure that you probably felt it too. And so, you know what? Instead of filming a late weekly video, we're just going to go straight into October, which is wild. I had to just check with myself. Yep, we're going into October. That's so wild. So we're just going to go straight into a monthly reading. So, monthly readings are for the collective, and the weekly readings are sign specific. So I generally pull 4 cards and then talk about them, and then at the end I'll pull 2 cards and you'll pick a pile, and then that will be more individual information for you, or more specific for you. So if you're interested in sign specific stuff, be sure to check out my weekly videos. Great, so I'm shuffled here. I'm gonna cut the deck into 3 piles, stack them back up, draw 4 cards. Okay, so all but one of the 4 is our major arcana. So we're going into like some fun, productive, emotionally, spiritually, soulfully, yeah, just, I'm not gonna say intense because it seems to have a negative connotation, but like productive time. So we're starting off with the new moon card, and so we just had a new moon in Libra, and so it kind of feels like this is, yeah, the time that a lot of things are starting to begin. So new moons and dark moons, you know, the day before, are really potent times to set your intentions. So this is a good time with this video when, you know, once you're finished watching, maybe take a few minutes while you're still in this headspace to just write down a few things that you want to step into in the following month. And then maybe a few things that are also things that you are no longer interested in pursuing, tactics that you're outgrowing, those kinds of things. And being bold and declarative that you're like, yep, no longer a thing that I'm interested in. So that's really how we're starting this month, is with this new moon. So the other 3 cards we have, all reversed, are the Chariot, Judgment, and the High Priestess. So I've said this before in other videos, but the way that I read reversals, some people think of them as negative or shadowy, and I don't see them that way, right? I see it as the energy is present, but it's not 100% expressed. And that can mean a variety of things, and generally I rely on the context of other cards and intuitive hits to figure out whether that's something we're moving towards, away from, or it's being blocked somehow. So we're going to look at them in the order that I pulled them. So the Chariot. And this is the Pagan Other Worlds Tarot, by the way. And what I like about the Chariot, thinking about the Chariot in Libra season, similarly, the Chariot and the High Priestess and the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck have those columns, the one black column, the one white column. And Libra season is about balance. And I've been thinking a lot about the pursuit of balance as it relates to perfectionism. I know that we talk a lot about perfectionism when it comes to Virgo season, which we're over, you know, we've moved through. But Libra has it a little bit too, but it's mostly like, okay, I'm seeing all sides of an issue, and it's hard for me to make a decision from that place, right? Almost inundated with a lot of information. The Chariot shows us it is a card of assured success. And what's important to note with the Chariot is that eventually we have to get out of the Chariot, right? The Chariot won't take us all the way to where we need to go. So we need to think about, just like with this new moon card, where is it that we want to go, and what do we need to step away from in order to make that happen, right? there will come a time when the tactics that we've been using to get to a certain thing, maybe some relationships that we have, doesn't just have to be romantic, platonic, work-related, whatever. Some relationships are no longer serving the highest and best. That seems like the most tactful way of putting that. Like, are no longer furthering our goals. And also I'm getting some sense that there might be some changes that don't happen at our hand, right? Some changes that happen to us, which, of course, there can be loss and grief and frustration that happens with those things. So please just honor your feelings. And also, with this Libra season, maybe take this time to have a potential expanded perspective of like, okay, that thing has ended and I didn't choose for it to end. What might be open now that is no longer in the place. I'm always cautious to talk about this because I don't want to ever minimize feelings, or explain away like, oh, everything happens for a reason. That's great if that's your ideology, but I don't think it's okay to put that on anybody else, to say that grief and pain and loss and all those things are a gift, like, if you get to that point, that's awesome. Not everyone is at that place, nor is that the final destination of processing guilt, or loss or any of those things. So just honor whatever feelings are coming up for you, and try to have that expanded perspective if you're able, that there might be some information that you don't have, that this opening is making way for something that's going to be more in alignment with these intentions that you're setting, right? And then we have Judgment. So I don't see Judgment as like a morality thing of like what's right or wrong, of some kind of like judgment day, some final evaluation about whether or not you're a good enough person in order to, attain X, Y, or Z. I see it as a kind of waking up, like this angel's blowing this horn in their trumpet, horn, whatever, and they're being woken up from kind of a deep slumber, and so it's important for us to ask ourselves, what are we being woken up to, what's exciting us, what's challenging us, what's, sort of nagging us, right? Any of those kinds of sensations can really cue us into what's becoming important to us. And the reason I talk about like nagging or upsetting is like, not only it doesn't always start as being like our attachment to things or recognizing the importance of a cause doesn't always start as being really lovey-dovey and being really supportive. Like sometimes it's like, being annoyed with a particular issue and then inventing something that, addresses it. So thinking about, again, another way of thinking about, okay, there might be additional information that's going to help me moving forward, address these things in new ways. And also with Judgment, not thinking about what is like good for this kind of community sense of right or wrong, right? Thinking about what's right or wrong for us. So that means getting in touch with our morals and our values, and doing that work. Also, during this month, we have Rosh Hashanah. So Shana Tova to all who are celebrating. Happy New Year. So we have this new, this really new period of time that we're stepping into. And then we also have Yom Kippur, right? So for folks who are not familiar with Judaism, we're entering into the period of high holidays. So we have the New Year, and then Yom Kippur is a time to process, like, to grieve and to, make reparations and try to heal relationships. And so between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are these days of awe where we go through this process of doing this personal inventory and reaching out to folks and making amends and doing those kinds of things. And so when we think about what have we done that maybe didn't sit with us, right? Didn't sit with us personally. When have we acted outside of our integrity, right? So all of this is like based on your own values. And of course, society, influences those values, and it should. But I would urge you to also put weight or importance on how you feel about these things. So it's a celebratory month. It's kind of a heavy month, right? But there is this release that comes. And let's look at the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is about waiting. It's about the mystery and like how fertile the in-between time can be. And so I am thinking about this in terms of those days of awe, right? Between this celebration of the New Year and Yom Kippur. And thinking about what is being developed in the unseen for us, right? We're doing the work on the one end, and then sort of behind the veil, behind the curtain, right? There's all this work going on behind there, helping us bring forward, again, these intentions that we've set. The High Priestess also, like, I'm just getting this real sense of, like, calm. Like, there's not anxiety with her. She knows. She holds the answers. And I'm hearing this pretty clearly. Just, like, trust the part of you that knows. Trust, like, this, like, inner awareness. And that the wisdom will come forward and be ready to be accessed when it's needed. But it's a lot of prep work right now, right? That intention setting, the releasing, the making amends, even the celebrating is a way of welcoming in like a new period of time to be enjoyed. So we do have some heavy hitters here, right? With the Chariot, Judgment, and High Priestess. It's a busy month. It's a busy month, but it really feels like we're being, not that we're being shaped, but that we're shaping ourselves and we're shaping our lives to be more in alignment with our own moral code and with our own desires, which is amazing work. Okay. So I have Danielle Laporte's Truth Bomb deck, and I'm going to shuffle the cards as you can see, and then I'm going to pick 2 cards. Okay. So take a deep breath, okay, and pick a pile. Do you want A or B? A. Authenticity is magnetic. I'm getting definitely some like Queen of Wands vibes of this like magnetic personality, right? Drawing resources and people towards her. So this authenticity piece is like when you are in alignment with your true self and what you truly desire, and with your integrity, like the things that you need to help propel you forward are going to be drawn towards you, right? And so I want to check that for a second, and I don't want to say like you're not being authentic if like everything that you need isn't coming forward to you, right? Because there is also this piece of timing, and we can never like not acknowledge institutionalized racism and, you know, any kind of systematic oppression, right? Because there are powers and structures at work in the world that don't distribute life chances in the same way. And so it's important for us to acknowledge that and work to eradicate that. That being said, this message is about making sure that you are acting in alignment and with your own values, and trusting that as you move forward, what you're seeking is also seeking you. Okay? So that was card A. And now card B. The past is never as relevant as we think it is. Ooh, this one feels, really good. If you are celebrating the high holidays this month, and even if you're not, or you're in this period of real reflection about, past stuff and maybe past wrongs, it's so important to do that work, and I'm so grateful for you for doing that work. I know for me that it's really hard, and I can get scared that I'm going to get stuck in that place. So if you have those fears, know that you're not alone in them. So this idea, the past is never as relevant as we think it is. It is the past because you've moved beyond it, right? You may need to make apologies and, make amends for the way that you behaved in the past. But the fact that it is in the past means that you are moving forward. You are making progress. Please hear that. And I know that you're doing a lot of work and you're probably tired. And that makes sense. And there will be a time for rest soon. It's important that you make that time. Just hearing be sweet to yourself, right? And for Rosh Hashanah, having a sweet new year. So recognize that you can give sweetness to yourself as well, and that you are deserving of sweetness, no matter what has happened in the past that you may feel shame around. Okay? Big healing of what you're able to give yourself and to others. Oh, wow, team. Okay, we are in for an incredible month. Enjoy everything, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. If you hit subscribe, you can be notified when I have those weekly videos, which again are sign specific. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.